Good evening, everybody, and tonight these are the fantastic candidates here standing for the Kapiti Coast Maori Ward election. There's one thing, I think it might be better if we start off again. Okay, because I muted my mic. So, good evening, everybody. Tonight, these are the fantastic candidates standing for the Kapiti Coast Maori Ward. But with every election, there's one thing stepping in their way, and that's your vote. Sit down there and introduce. I asked you if it wasn't on mute. I don't know.
Gotta answer it once.
Okay, let's kick that off again. Good evening, everybody. It seems to be a night of that pesky mute key. I've been on, off. Wouldn't even sit there and know where it's sitting. So yes, we are here live today from the Ōtaki Memorial Hall, where we have the Kapiti Coast Māori Ward candidates. Why is that paired on the TV screen? Okay, that works a lot better. Gee, it seems to be a lot of gremlins there at the table tonight, Nick. Yeah, yes. So we'll be getting to get to these fantastic candidates who have put their feet to the It's in the Ballot fire, and great. And before we go there, I'd like to introduce you to my question host, Mr. Sam Ferguson, who is. We're going to, just like the latest debate of the 2023 general election, Chris versus Chris, we've got Sam with Sam.
Kia ora koutou.
Yeah. So let's sit there and kick off with our random order sheet. And Himiona, you get to go first with your opening statement.
I te tuatai me tuku mihi ki ngā hapu o Ngāti Raukawa ki te tonga, ko Ngāti Koroki, ko Ngāti Kapu, ko Ngāti Pare, ko Ngāti Huia, ko Ngāti Mai Ōtaki, tēnā tātou katoa. My name's Himiona Grace, and I am the political director of Te Pāti Māori. My whakapapa to Kapiti goes back 8 generations, from Te Rangi Hiro to Waipunahau to Te Kākākura to Onepu to Edward Gunson to Patricia Grace, and then to my father, who I'm named after. So I've worked directly in politics for the last 10 years, serving our people both inside and outside of Parliament. I have written laws, shaped national policy, and I helped build the Toitu Te Tiriti movement from the ground up. I was part of the campaign to establish Māori wards, and now I'm joining the campaign to retain them. So we have a central government that views mana whenua and Te Tiriti o Waitangi as nothing more than a barrier to their own corporate interests, and we need to ensure that that agenda does not get pushed onto our local council and into our communities. Kia ora.
Okay, next up, Jason, your opening statement.
Wow, that's a lot to follow.
I'm sorry.
Kia ora, Jason Thurston, Ngāti Parau, ko Hikerangi te moanga, ko Waipu te awa, ko Nukutai Mimiha te waka Maui, ko Ngāti Ui Pohatu, Ngāti Parau te iwi, ko Jason Thurston aho. I'm fairly new to the political scene, unlike the last person. So this is, I'm here because I would like to retain the Māori ward, but I also think there's some great things that could be done with KCDC to improve maybe some of the key issues that are out there as discussions in the public right now, maybe with some critical thinking and some new ways of looking at things from the Māori space as well as from Hapori. And yeah, thank you very much for having the opportunity to stand for the Māori ward.
Okay, next up, Jordan. Yes, your review statement. Christmas is coming.
E ke uki raro ki te wakamari mari te tataria ki te urahanga o te tāpora o rongo ue roa. Taku kuia e, tai ara o taku tupuna e tohi ai au ko te ati awa no runga i te rangi. Te toki te tangatanga i te rā, tā ringa mango ko te nge ueha. Tēnā rā tātou, ko tōra Marshall Wansborough tēnei. Ara ko nimo, he mihi ana ki a koutou tēnei wā. I'm standing for rangatahi Māori, for disability Māori, I'm standing because we need generational people at council, not just all the old people. Kia ora mai.
Okay, and last up, opening statements, we got Rangi.
All right. Kia ora tātou, ko Rangi Halbert taku ingoa. Te taho tōku pāpa, my dad is from the great Gumboot land in Taiapi. His generations go all the way back to Wairoa, to Ngāti Parau and Ngāti Rongo Whakaata. My mum is from the faithful Halkim up in Tokarangi area, the marae up there, Paupata te. We also have links to the Whanganui River and also to the to Ngāti Raukawa or Ngāti Kaupata, Tainui te waka. So that's where I'm from, and my blood is that, and I'm them. I'm standing because there's a guy that said to me, he said, now, why are you standing for Māori ward? And I just about to take a breath, and then he said, hang on, I want you to be honest. And so I sat back in my chair and I said, for my mokopuna. And I hope that everyone here is here for their mokopuna too. Nō reira koe, kia ora mai tātou.
Thank you for those opening statements there. So, for those who are wondering how It's in the Ballot works, so in these boxes over here, there are 28 questions. Each of them have had been questions from members of the community. So when a candidate, they pick a box number, my question host there, Sam, my namesake counterpart, goes around and picks the box number and reads out the question. And if a candidate who didn't pick that box also wants to answer that question, they can use one of their button cards. They get 2 for each show. And for any candidate who gets a question they don't want to answer, such as, will you disestablish Māori wards? I'm very sure they can use the defer card. Now, I'm certain that we don't have one of those cards in there, but I think that's a perfect time to have that defer card to be used when it's a Māori ward show. Oh, and For those who are wondering, our candidates have been given the questions 48 hours in advance so that we can give them with nice, well-educated answers, because our job here is to get out quality information, not a show with a bunch of ums, ahs, and all sorts of other things attached to it. So let's kick off. Jordan, you get to pick out the first box number. What box number would you like? And with the microphone, please.
27.
27.
My birthday.
Letter T. A councillor resigns within 12 months before the next election. What would you propose for the vacancy?
By-election.
Oh, that's a quick, short, sharp, sweet answer. Because under the Local Government Act, within 12 months of a local body election, the councillors can vote to not hold the by-election and could either A, appoint someone to fill the position, B, leave this position vacant, or C, send it to a by-election. So I like that one about democracy. Might be a bit different at 6 months, but at 12 months, I can understand that. There's a lot of people who hold out to just under that 12-month day to resign. Rangi, what box number?
Oh, 11.
11. Question 11. The letter is G. What is your approach to handling controversial and complicated issues?
It was definitely revert to the people. The people have got all the answers. To get all us together, to be able to work together as one, to have that issue sorted, so that no complication or anything like that is going to confuse any of our community members. Everybody needs to be clear on everything. Don't really have much else to say about that, but really the people are the most important people. The more people we have, the better the solution will be. That's a bit. It's a bit longer than his one.
Yeah, gee, I nearly had to start clapping there. I thought our audience suddenly disappeared, but thank goodness they're still here. Have me honour. What box number?
9.
Question 9. Letter J. Could Kapiti Coast District Council be more open with its information and meeting access? If so, how?
It absolutely could. I think not just by holding meetings online, but potentially through bringing these hui to the communities through mobile workshops. But for us who are running for the Maori ward, we've got to cover the whole district. It's not really fair to expect people to travel all across from Ōtaki to Paikakariki to come and see us. So I guess removing access barriers, it's not just about putting things online, but it's giving people the means to actually come to you. If they can't come to you, you have to go to them.
Certainly, and I think we still have that lovely pesky barrier, Ōtaki and Paikakariki.
I need to get rid of that.
I think the Ōtaki people can ring the council toll free, though. I do believe there is a direct dial number for Ōtaki that gets through, but I do remember that as a kid, always that 0406 barrier. Yeah. Jason, what box number?
Number 10, please.
Question 10. Letter E. What are your priority areas for expenditure?
Good infrastructure is key, I think, with the governance. Water is being very well managed on the Kapiti Coast, and there's a plan going forward. In the infrastructure space, the preview sets out quite a lot of work to be done. Roading, environmental stuff as well is, I do have a plan of that, and hopefully it may come up at a question shortly. But Sam, I'm afraid that I would actually go and put a unitary authority council in place, which would probably reframe a lot of these questions as far as a progression forward.
So we've gone for our first round and given all candidates a chance to open the questions. So we've got a new number, was it list order? Jordan, you get to go up first. What box number?
Pawaka Rima. Hi. Rima. 5.
Letter D. What is your view on residential, commercial and industrial growth in the district?
In the district. That's the whole of Kapiti, isn't it?
Yes.
I think we need communication. We need involvement with community. I'm not on council yet, so I don't have much of a clue yet about how many people live in Kapiti or what is being done. I'm more new to this, but kei te pai, I'm willing to learn and willing to do what I can to the best of my ability. That's all I've got to say, I think, for now.
Okay, Himiana, what box number?
18.
Letter K. What are your ideas for helping people who don't have good internet access to be involved and have their say?
This is going to be really similar to my last one. Bringing these council meetings to them. I'm all about access, and if people can't live stream in, they can't make it for whatever reason, we need to go to them. So yeah.
And I have to say, we've got a fantastic venue here that can do the job. Yeah. Rangi. Oh, were you going to button, Jason?
Yeah, maybe turn the heat on.
Oh, that one. I've already pressed the key on that. I've already pressed the key on that one. Don't worry, we're not going to call that a use of a button card. Rangi.
Peke 8. Oh, all right.
P. With disruptive roadworks and what some see as unnecessary new traffic lights at Riverbank Road, would you support businesses hit by the old state highway upgrade to be compensated, and who should pay for it?
I don't know where the other road goes to, so the voting is unfamiliar with me. I think
The old State Highway 1.
the old state highway. We're going to use that again. I mean, I'm not from Ōtaki, but
So Riverbank Road is the road by the southern end of the bridge as you come off, which they're planning to put a new set of traffic lights in there, and they're doing upgrades from there right through to the Ōtaki roundabout by the BP.
whoa, that's going to get me to the golf course quicker. I think that should go ahead, but really quickly, because there's a big mess out there at the moment, and I think that we need more people on board to help get that sorted and get that done. And I think it's a good idea to have, in Waikanae we've got 4 traffic lights just in a section of 50-metre road. A 50-metre road, we've got 4 traffic lights. It kind of works. So I think that if we had the same structure as here in Ōtaki, the same as what we have in Waikanae, which works, I think that our community will be able to transport themselves much better.
My clutch says something very different today after having to stop at all 3 of them on the way here from Romany Beach. But that's all. But it's just the way how it goes. Jason, what box number? Oh no, were you going to do a button?
Yeah.
Oh, chuck in a button first.
Yeah.
Go and button that question. Yeah.
So I have a shop on the main road up here, and so I know one or two things about what's happening. And yeah, as far as having a set of traffic lights, but it's about preparing for the future. It might look out of place right now. If we are to have growth within the area, if we've got 5,000 people here now, leaving Ōtaki and coming into Ōtaki can be problematic. We've seen that in the long weekends, but if we increase the population to 10,000, imagine what that would be like trying to leave and come into Ōtaki. So it's about preparing for the future with a lot of this infrastructure that is happening right now.
Okay. So now that was the buttons. So then we'll get down to your box number. What box number are we choosing?
Box 21.
Oh yes, that where the voting age used to be at one point in history.
Question 21, L. What part of the community or business sector does council need to work more closely with?
Well, with the Economic Development Kotahitanga Board, the business community really needs to be listened to a bit more closely. Taking and suggestions and more think tanks from the business community may actually help enhance our employment. There is also many other hapori groups that could actually participate to put suggestions forward, and we need to have an open ear to what is out there in the community.
Okay, so we've had 8 questions and time for a new order. Rangi, you get to go up first. What box number?
1. Thank you.
The good old tahi. And remember, when you're voting, you've got to put number 1 on the voting paper before you start with your number 2 and your number 3 and your number 4.
The letter is M. What are your ideas for achieving more public participation in local government decisions?
Participation. Participation is a big word in the Treaty of Maori, the Treaty of Waitangi. So, to have everybody understand what participation means, it means to get out of your bed and participate. Get out of bed and vote. But the hardest thing for our people, I think, is because they're unaware of things, that they're not participating or not having any communication with anything that is going on. So I think that we need to have more activities. I mean, Ōtaki are a good example to a lot of to Waikanai Paraparaumu, because we don't have much activities down that way. But in Ōtaki we have the kites and we have the kite day, and it works because it gets the people there, people participating.
Am I seeing the button coming in or not? No buttons?
I can. I wasn't going to. But.
Oh, okay. Oh, no. You don't have it here. Okay, Jordan, what box number?
Tacoma Rima.
The letter is W. What political party are you linked to?
Well, I'm not linked to any political party. I am a Green member though, but I'm not standing as a Green candidate or anything else. I'm standing as a Maori person. Kia ora.
Okay, Jason.
19, please.
Letter F. How will you fit in council meetings with your other commitments?
Oh, kia ora. I have actually applied some thought to this before I put the nomination in. I am self-employed and do have flexibility to work around council commitments for council meetings and attending different hui. And I can employ people to take on various roles in my business.
Okay. Himiona. Oh,
6.
The letter is I. What should the local government be doing about climate change?
Well, first we need to accept that climate change is no longer a distant threat. It's actually with us now. We've seen at least 5 once-in-a-lifetime extreme weather events in the last 5 years. If you look at Wairoa, who had flooding just 1 year ago, they are still recovering from it. There are still hundreds of people without their homes. Part of the reason for that is not just because the council didn't plan and poor infrastructure, it was also because the council didn't listen to the people who understood the patterns of the river and they allowed that river to flood. So first things first, we need to, we should have been doing this decades ago, but we need to actually prepare for the fact that our sea level is changing, is moving up. We're going to be facing these events more and more frequently over the next few years, and we need to ensure, I know that central government's plan is for managed retreat. That is focused more on insurance, so, and for people whose homes aren't insured who will have to evacuate.
okay.
We have the maramataka that's on the Kapiti District Council, and it's the Maori way on how our environment acts. We're in a different area here in Ōtaki, and the land, air, and water acts differently than what the water in Waikanai does. So the maramataka is all about the moon changes, the moon, and how the lunar moon and how it affects the earth. I think that if we revert to the maramataka of our ancestors, I think that we're going to have a better understanding as Maori, because we know what the maramataka is, but then maybe teach our Pākehā whānau about that, and then we can learn and move forward.
And we have a button from Jason.
Kia ora. With the environment, I think if we were to investigate a unitary authority council environment, a lot of the decisions with environmental would come back to the Kapiti Coast District Council. And then what would happen is we would have the local knowledge used more with iwi and hapori. And then so that would in turn aid quicker decisions possibly, and being able to actually action things appropriate for our environment, and then also we would become masters of our own environment and actually managing it.
Okay, we're off for a. Actually, I'll just reorder that thing again. Himiona, what box number?
12.
Letter N. What will you do to stop poor council expenditure, allocate resources to critical infrastructure, and rein in huge increases?
First, I'll say, to anybody listening, to be wary of politicians who promise to cut your rates and cut your taxes. because more often than not, they don't keep those promises. And when they do, they find other ways to recoup it. Having said that, in Kapiti, we've recently had a rates increase for a lot of us that came with a shock. It came out of nowhere. It's to the point where a lot of people are being priced out of their communities, people who have lived here for a long time. I guess I'm very wary of this question because I'm not about cutting money that is used for core services, but what we do need is transparency around where that money is being targeted, and we need to have community say on projects that are for the community. So, yeah.
Rangi, what box number?
We'll go number 2.
Letter Z. If a candidate is found to be breaking the campaign rules, do you believe that the candidate should publicly own the mistake issue, or should it be able to be brushed under the rug, and why?
In a Maori perspective, I think that there should be there's a process that you go through. The process is utu, noa, tapu. And so if we follow the process of tapu, of it being a tapu case, we hear the stories from both sides, and then we go to utu on how we can find a balance. Once we find the balance, we bring in kaumātua, if necessarily bring in kaumātua to come in and oversee the take, and then we finally come to a noa, which is a satisfaction. What am I trying to say there? It's a resolution.
Okay, Jordan, what box number?
7.
The letter is Y. Do you support or oppose the new names chosen for the stretch of former state highway between Poplar Avenue and Pika Pika Road?
I think this one might be a bit personal to you.
Yeah, there's many a different kōrero around about different things in Kapiti, like Pika Pika, for example. I'm to be honest, I don't actually know. I haven't been to the marae since recently, but kei te pai, I'll find out and I'll let you know. But if mana whenua are okay with it, kei te pai, because it's mana whenua that belong.
Okay, Jason.
Number 4, please.
Letter C. What council committees would you prefer to be on if elected?
Tiwok, Te Whakiminanga o Kapiti. And then, because this role is new, talking with the mayor, whether it's a new mayor or existing mayor, to work out where the placement for the Māori ward councillor would be best to complement alongside working with mana whenua. So we don't have a duplication of ideas or actually people trying to do different things and overcomplicate it.
Got it. Okay, we've got a new list and orders, and Jordan, you get to go up first. What box number?
25.
Question 25, letter AA. Tell us what you think of local government or local democracy.
Well, every hui that I've gone to, there's no generational push. It's all been kaumātua, kuia, karaua, not really anyone under the 50 mark. So we need to change that. so that we have rangatahi and we have Pākeke. They say, they say that rangatahi is only to a certain age and Pākeke to a certain age. Well, rangatahi to me is to about 50 anyway. So, well, that's what we do for Te Atiawa and Taranaki. It's up to 50. And then it changes. Anyways, yeah, I think we need to have a generational pool.
Okay, Jason,
Okay.
what box number?
26.
The letter is O. What do you see as the biggest challenges facing your community?
I or
Biggest challenges.
that's different to what I've got on there. Oh, I'll read
what-
out the question that you asked.
I don't know. Do I have a selection of two?
Well, they're both challenges. Yeah, that's actually a good point. They are both
Or
challenges.
questions? So the biggest challenges we're facing, yes, there is infrastructure things to work through, but that does look like there is a plan and a process that's looking to be put into place. Interference from central government is one big massive thing that what is going to come our way, and how is that going to change council, and how is that going to change Hapori, and what are we going to have to do? The debt ceiling, and how do we how do we treat debt? Do we keep pushing it over to the coming generations, which is not going to work, but we need to pay our fair share right now. So there's many things in play right now. And then of course, some of these decisions affect households, whether they're renting or own their properties, which affects rates. So it's a big discussion to be had. I don't think there's one single thing in play.
Okay, Himiona, what box number?
22.
Letter H. What skills and experience do you have that you believe would be beneficial to you as a council member?
Well, like I've said, I have 10 years of experience working directly in politics. I've negotiated policy with ministers. I understand how central government operates on a level that not many people do. And right now, we have a central government that is overreaching into our councils. They've recently changed the Local Government Act to have control over what councils can spend their money on, and they have cut things like well-being spending from councils. They are forcing local councils to have a referendum on Maori wards. They are pushing through the regulatory standards bill, which will eliminate our collective rights and environmental protections in our community. So I think my experience working in that space will be invaluable, and I do not compromise anything for our community.
Okay, next up, Rungy. What box number?
Let's go with 23.
Letter B. Is rate money being spent responsibly?
Well, really, when we're really going to look at it, we're going to start by supporting Kapiti District Council and getting behind them and making things happen. I think the council need. I can't say that the council need this or need that, but I think that if we get behind the council on their get behind their policies, I think that we should understand those, and I think that we should have a collective idea on that. But we should, I mean, rather than fight against something, I think that we should go with it. But then we're here to change things. So whatever those things are to change, will come up. I'm hoping.
Okay, so now time to reorder the numbers up and go for another round. And Jordan, you get to go up first.
16.
Question 16. Letter A. Are council policies helping small businesses survive and grow?
Well, just recently, I would say no. Pop-up containers in Waikanae, that's gone to bust basically. So no, I would say no.
Was the pop-up containers a council venture or privately owned one?
No, it's a council venture.
Okay, Jason, what box number?
Number 3.
Letter B. What should council priorities be when making grants to the community?
Give everyone everything they want.
Supplementary question. I'd like to have a grant for $35,000 to fund the It's in the Ballot New Zealand
It's
tour.
yours. Yes, it is a contentious space, but council, the kotahitanga idea of everyone being able to come forward with their ideas to be able to benefit community, so no one is left out. Sometimes we have to fund these different initiatives, and it's what good community is about. Kia ora.
Okay, Rangi, what box number?
Let's go with number 13.
Question 13. Letter Q. What budget line items would you remove to help bring down rates in the Kapiti Coast without disrupting basic services?
Budget items. What I bring down? I don't really know.
The unfunded mandates from central government?
That'll be a good one. The mandates would bring that down. But our budget to bring down, I think, I don't really know. Okay, let's have a look at the budgets. I think, what do I think? I think the budgets are tight, and I don't, yeah. That's a really hard question for me. I think bring down in the Kapiti Coast without disrupting basic services. We got land, we got transport, and those things there are really important. Anything else like social relationships should be looked at again, and our rates not going, our rates being simplified in a way that will save us money, I guess.
And you want to use your button, Jordan? No, okay. Hamiona, what box number?
17.
Letter U. How should Kapiti Coast work with the regional council to improve local transport?
I'm going to use my defer card just because I feel like it.
Who would you
Really
like
no
to
reason.
to?
Who wants it? I want to use this before this round's over. Brian. Jason. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
So, Jason, you've been put into the hot seat.
Okay, how should Kapiti Coast? The regional council, as part of this discussion of turning KCDC into a unitary authority council, transport is one of the issues that is looked at regional council, and it would bring the decisions back to the Kapiti Coast, and hopefully we could actually better utilise our money in a way that actually suits our community. Kia ora.
Okay. Have we got 4 boxes left on there? Oh, yes. So it's the last round of questions. Rangi, what box number?
Okay, I'll go first. 28.
Letter S. How will you prevent excessive cycle lane expansion so essential infrastructure doesn't fall into disrepair?
Extensive cycle lanes.
According to the person asking the question.
Can I use my other card?
So who would you
I
like to
don't ride a
defer
bike.
that
I don't
to?
ride a bike. I'm not a button card.
The defer card.
Yeah, defer.
Who would you like to defer that question to?
Do you want to have a go?
Sure.
Since you missed-
Do you own a bike?
I don't own a bike, but I really think decisions on cycleways should be, again, up to the community where they're being built. Where I live, we don't have cycleways in Paikakariki, but there is a cycle lane out onto the highway. And I think that's necessary because I would hate, because a lot of tamariki who live alongside the highway use it to get to school. And I would hate them to have to ride along the side of the main road. So I know that there's issues in Ōtaki. There are issues with people cycle lanes being built. They're not being used by the community, but they're being used by people from Wellington and outside of the community. I think that the community need to be at the table for those decisions. But honestly, I don't have a real problem with cycle lanes. I think safety is key. If people are going to be riding their bikes, I do not want to be driving behind them on the road. And I don't want kids getting hurt. I want kids to have options of how to get to school, how to get to their friend's house.
Kia ora, kia ora.
Okay, Jordan, what box number?
24.
Letter R. How will you expand youth programs and upgrade parks so kids who don't play sports will have things to do?
Well, first thing, I would have a community hui, whether or not and what the children or the community want, because there's no point setting up a kaupapa that the children don't even want. Just make sure that everything's safe. The mats on the ground don't have, nails sticking out or anything like that. Keep the papa safe and secure. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really go to parks and stuff apart from to walk my dog. But yeah, as long as it's safe and everyone's happy.
And you made my ears ping when you mentioned the word nails, as I do remember getting a flat tire and a broken wheel stud, ironically, it was a razor blade just before the historic Mangaweka Viaduct, and had to drive to Taihape on a blown tire because there was no way to get the wheel nut off. And you've just reminded me of that. Yeah. Yes. The longest 40k drive we've ever had. Yeah, Butter, go ahead.
Okay, so how would I expand youth programs? Well, some critical thinking is we need to fund it. So how do we fund it? Well, maybe we should look at actually alcohol laws. Now, this may seem a bit left of field, but if we take our alcohol laws and review them and maybe look at bringing in a system similar to what Southland has with their liquor licensing authority, where we take the money from alcohol profits and we actually put it back into our society here. We could have the most amazing infrastructure for youth. We could have all the facilities we wanted if we actually form the structure correctly. Kia ora.
And I think you've just annoyed some people in the ACT Party because they're trying to actually disestablish the Southland Licensing Trust and the Waitakere Licensing Trust. But that's all right. That's all right. You know, if you want to upset them, that's
The key is
their
they've tried to.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, how many of them would actually be on the Māori roll to vote would be another story. Well, how many Māori ward candidates are there?
Yeah, he's not here. Ryan's not
Yeah.
here.
Jason, what box number?
14.
Letter X. Who do you think is missing out on local government participation?
I think potentially Māori. So the Māori ward is about participation and partnership. And sometimes people have turned off from local politics because of so many different factors. Now, having the Māori ward in place will show people will have the ability to participate. And we've got to make it as easy as possible for that to happen. Kia ora.
And Hermione, what box number?
Last one.
Letter AB. What is your biggest priority for the next term, and how do you intend on delivering on that?
I have a couple of priorities, but first and foremost, mana whenua need adequate, proper representation. For example, in Waikanai, we know that the council approved a housing development over Waihi Tapu, and before the council was able to actually make a change and reverse that, the national government has come over a top and basically frozen that project. So it's going to continue for the next 2 years. That should never have even started. I know council are regretting their decision. That's more of a reason why we need Māori wards, by the way. We have, Ōtaki have recently won a case having their marine and coastal area title acknowledged by the courts, and the central government is about to come over top and reverse that again. So that's my first thing, mana whenua representation. My last thing is housing. In Paikakariki, locals who haven't just lived there their whole lives, they've lived there for generations, can no longer afford to live there. It's not just rates, it's rents, I think. We talk a lot about ratepayers. We don't talk a lot about renters. We've got a landlord who just bought up 10 properties down the street from me, and they're sitting there empty. So yeah, housing and tangata whenua.
Okay, and just for some housekeeping before we get to our break, it's in the Ballot Productions. Shows? We are an independent non-profit organisation who relies on small donations to bring these shows to format. In order to produce this, it's in the Ballot show today. Thank you to a generous helping. We didn't have to pay the $179 to rent this venue today. Thank you, KCDC, for that. However, fixed costs for running these shows are we're paying $14 to Starlink for the internet connection for our shows. We're paying $31 to Restream to broadcast to multiple platforms. And now, our budget does have two. However, we only turned up in one car today. As you can see, there's only two crew. So we have a budget for $100 for fuel to transport us from base to here, and we have a $50 refreshment budget to make sure our volunteers are well nourished. So if you would like to sit there and help support It's in the Ballot Productions, feel free to sit down there, and you can head to our Give a Little page and give a koha on there. You can also go on Eventbrite and use the koha without admission option and donate a koha that way, or you can also do direct credit funds into the bank accounts. And if anyone's in studio, we are not going to be one of these annoying agencies. We're happy to take cash. Consider it, yeah. But leave your checkbooks at home because Kiwi Bank, along with every other bank in New Zealand, won't accept them anymore. So we'll see you guys in, was it 10 minutes after we've had a bit of a break?
We're taking a pause, just a short little breather to stretch out your legs. You don't need a leader. The live stream will be back, so don't go too far. But for now, you can wander wherever you are. Intermissions aren't really a thing anymore, but we think they're cool, a tradition to adore. A moment to breathe, have a laugh, maybe chat. There's magic in breaks, and we're keeping that. Head to the lobby, I mean your kitchen with glee, for snacks that are tasty and drinks. Fill up your plate, pour a glass, take your time, then come back refreshed. We'll resume on a dime. Head to the lobby, I mean your kitchen with glee, for snacks that are tasty and drinks. Maybe 3. Fill up your plate, pour a glass, take your time, then come back refreshed. We'll resume on a dime. Head to the lobby, I mean your kitchen with glee, for snacks that are tasty and drinks. Maybe 3. Fill up your plate, pour a glass, take your time, then come back refreshed. We'll resume on a dime. Head to the lobby, I mean your kitchen with glee, for snacks that are tasty and drinks. Maybe 3. Fill up your plate, pour a glass, take your time, then come back refreshed. We'll resume on a dime. little breather to stretch out your legs. You don't need a leader. The live stream will be back, so don't go too far. But for now you can wander wherever you are. Intermissions aren't really a thing anymore, but we think they're cool, a tradition to adore. A moment to breathe, have a laugh, maybe chat. There's magic in breaks, and we're keeping that. Head to the lobby, I mean your kitchen with glee, for snacks that are tasty and drinks. Fill up your plate, pour a glass, take your time, then come back refreshed, we'll resume on a dime. Your kitchen with glee, for snacks that are tasty and drinks. Maybe 3. Fill up your plate, pour a glass, take your time, then come back refreshed, we'll resume on a dime. Into the lobby, I mean your kitchen with glee, for snacks that are tasty and drinks. Maybe 3. Fill up your plate, pour a glass, take your time, then come back refreshed, we'll resume on a dime. I mean your kitchen with glee, for snacks that are tasty and drinks. Fill up your plate, pour a glass, take your time, then come back refreshed, we'll resume on a dime.
shit, don't panic, but it's almost time to get back to the show. The candidates have stretched their legs, been partying, taking a break. Cause there's still hard-hitting questions, closing statements and stuff you wanna know. So grab those snacks for the answers and prep for decisions you need to make. Oh, 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 oh. The candidates have stretched their leg. The candidates have stretched their legs, been partying, taking a break. Oh, 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 oh. There's still hard-hitting questions, closing statements and stuff you wanna know. So grab the snack you wanna know. So grab those snacks, hear the answers and prep for decisions you need to make. Oh, 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 oh.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to It's in the Ballot. Sorry for the delay. Here we go.
Get ready for hard-hitting questions. Click it again. Put the camera back onto me and put it back off again. We had this happen before. And now just you don't have to adjust the camera. You just turn it off and turn it back on. I don't know why I need a big mug shot of me. I know. Oh.
Yeah, no.
Woo! So when's the hard-hitting questions graphics going to pop? Oh, I bet you'll work if I go to it. Okay, so hard-hitting questions are these very, I won't call them difficult questions. I'll call questions where we need to have a response from all the candidates. Our first hard-hitting question brings up, in 2020, the Waitangi Tribunal found that Crown had committed systematic breaches that led to over half of the Karerera Urupā cemetery block at Waikanae Beach being built over with housing and the local iwi losing ownership. What will you do to ensure such breaches are never repeated when new dwellings are built on the Kapiti coast? Tamiona.
Well, first, it's not just about what we will do to prevent this from happening again, because this is still happening right now. I actually mentioned it in our last question, because of the central government has come and told the council to abandon their protection plans. Te Atiawa is still dealing with this for the next 2 years at least. So first, we need to stop it. Then we need to remedy it. And then we need to ensure it never happens again. Just to be blunt, the only people who should ever be able to build on mana whenua land is mana whenua. Had we had Māori wards, and not just Māori wards, but te tiriti embedded throughout local council, then stuff like this would never have happened. This is going to continue to happen because of directions from central government through the Regulatory Standards Bill, through the removal of te tiriti o Waitangi from the RMA, and through fast-tracking legislation. So our council does actually have the ability, to stop this current development, but they need to step up. They need to actually contact central government and say, no, we are going ahead with our protection plan with your support or not.
Jordan, you know a lot about this. You educated me last time.
He moke au. We definitely need to not allow Pākehā companies to overtake our Māori land, let alone I wouldn't want myself living under my tupuna. And for the central government to override the council and iwi is wrong. And not having communication has allowed this to happen. Money, greed is another thing. If, like Henry said, that if Tiriti o Waitangi was embedded in council and in local government, we'd be able to secure our whenua.
Okay. Jason.
Kia ora. we need to look at the district plan to make sure that the district plan identifies all Māori land. Is it up to date? Has all Māori land been looked at? How is it treated in the district plan? Those basic things potentially enables us to treat Māori land like it should be treated without having to think about the consequences. The land is a taonga and should be respected. Kia ora.
And Rangi.
All right, yeah, that's a very, very sad subject when you talk about urupa being built over. You know, when we have when we take takamore for instance, we got a lot of there's burial grounds up there that don't only belong to Māori, they also belong to some of the community that reside in Waikanai and around Te Atiawa Taranaki, who our Pākehā residents are also buried in that area. So I think the key is consultation with iwi, and that's a must. You know, you can't turn around to us and say, can you bless a piece of land that we're going to build a swimming pool on, and then turn around and not talk to us about building a road over a urupa and just go ahead and do it. We're not here for you, for the council, when you need us. We need to work together because we're treading on tapu, and tapu is unsafe.
Thank you for that, and very brilliant answers, very well informative, and I've learnt even more tonight on it. And I hope those at home have also learnt a lot as well. Okay, let's go to hard-hitting question number 2. Do you have any personal or professional relationships that could be a conflict of interest while serving as a council member? I'll just bring up a random order. Rangi, would you like to go first?
Professional relationships?
Yes. Like, I'll put it this way. An example for me would be, it would be inappropriate for me to stand for council if I'm also a candidate having myself host an It's in the Ballot show. That's the best example I could put out there.
All right. Well, I'm a Māori teacher in the Kapiti Coast, and at one stage I taught 2,000 kids in 1 week. So 2,000 different kids in 1 week. So there were several schools that I used to go to in the Kapiti Coast. So I mean, I've got commitments there, and I've got commitments to my family. I've got commitments to my moko, which is the most important. And I'm hoping that I can find the time to be able to put my efforts and energy. I will find the time to put my efforts and energy into being a good communicator with all Māori in this rohe, this community. So, thank you.
Okay, Jason.
Okay, so I've been self-employed for a long time on the Kapiti Coast, and within my business interactions with many different people. So in the grant space, I would potentially have to put my hand up and declare interactions with other people on a professional nature and on a case-by-case basis.
Has the clapping stopped? Okay, glad our clapping hasn't broken down. Jordan.
Simple answer, no. I'm a people person. I love people. I love my taiao. I'm a rongoa practitioner. Simple answer, no. Haven't got any take, I guess. I would say people I'm around and in community, it's a good skill to, aroha mai. No. Simple answer, no.
Okay, and was it Himiona?
Well, I'm not just a member of Te Pāti Māori. I work for them at Parliament and I run our political and policy and comm strategy. In terms of the role as a councillor, I have declared my conflict of interest with Parliament and they're all good with it. There are certain areas that I would stay out of. For example, if we were pushing local bills coming into Parliament, I would have nothing to do with it, and stuff like that. But there is one hat that I wear all the time, and that's the Maori hat, not the Maori Party hat. So I am in service of my people and community above my party, who also happen to serve my people in my community. So I don't think it is a problematic conflict. I think it's a compliment.
Okay, now let's get to hard-hitting question number 3. I think, as I say here, the most important question for all candidates standing for elected office at the 2025 local body elections. What is your position on retaining the Kapiti Coast District Māori Ward for the Kapiti Coast District Council and the Te Upoko e Te Iki a Maui Māori constituency for the Greater Wellington Regional Council, and why do you hold that position? Jordan, you get to go up first.
Simple answer, retainer. Yes, absolutely. This is our first time having a Māori ward. The last council in Ballot voted against it. This council has said yes, and we need to retain it to be able to give ourselves as Māori a voice in council and able to show some fruits of the next 3 years, whether or not it's a good thing or it's a not good thing. I believe it's a good thing because if Māori are well, everybody is well. Kia ora.
Okay, Rangi.
Retaining the Māori ward is so important. It is important now because there's a lot of people that have heard Māori, I'm saying, that are on the Māori roll that have heard of that there's a Māori ward out now, because I've been talking to a lot of people, and they're excited. And I think that a lot of people, a lot of Māori will actually get out and vote, because it's actually an exciting time to have a Māori ward on board, because we are in some tough times at the moment, and we need everybody together, Māori and Pākehā together, to be able to drive this thing together. And having a Māori ward, I think we're going to gather a few more people in our rohe, in our contingency to vote, and we have better numbers. Better numbers are better than less numbers.
Yeah. Himiona.
Absolutely, we should retain our Māori ward. I think having a Māori ward is the absolute bare minimum of what we are entitled to as Māori under Te Tiriti o Waitangi. These rights should never be put up for referendum. It should only be up to Māori to determine how much we participate on local council. Let's not forget that local council's right to exist is derived entirely from Te Tiriti o Waitangi. We have always upheld our side of the treaty. So the least the council can do is, I actually think every citizen, and I think the council have an obligation to get people out to vote and to tell them to vote for the Māori wards. It's not a hard-hitting question for me. For me, this is the very reason I put my name down. I want people to know that there is a Māori ward. I want everybody that knows me to vote. And this is, to be honest, this local election is the first time I have felt I have something to vote for. So.
Okay, Jason.
Kia ora. Yes, we should maintain and keep the Māori ward. Why? Because this is what representation looks like. This is what partnership looks like. We are not going to go away. We are here to stay. Māori people need to be part of the equation going forward. We're not going to be cut out from society. Local Body Government Act 2002, item number 4 says we need to honour Te Reti o Waitangi. Number 81 says we need to have the ability for Māori to participate with consultation. It is there in black and white. If the Māori ward disappears, it may not come back for up to 9 years. Come on, guys. 9 years. But saying that, sorry, Sam, your job may go. A unitary council may be the way forward. We would love to have you, Sam, at KCDC. If that's the way that we progress. Kia ora.
And for those who are wondering at home with the Māori ward referendum, whether it is retained or to be disestablished, this election, you'll still have a Māori ward councillor for the next 3 years. And the date, if it was to disestablish or to be retained, is to be retained for both the 2028 and the 2031 local body elections. So think of it as a long-term thing. It's not just the here and now, but it's what's going to be happening in the future. And I certainly know which way I'll be voting this election. And it's definitely be 2 ticks to retain. Something I don't usually say on air is which way I'm voting. But you know, as a 6th generation New Zealand born Pākehā, I think I've got to sit there and make the point, I'm there to sit there and have it kept as well. Especially considering I'm hosting a Māori ward show, which is does feel a bit awkward for me with unknown Māori heritage. But I mean, with 6 generations, it's bound to have been in there because that's quite a lot of descendants down the line. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so now let's get for closing statements. And let's kick off with, I want it to be in a different order again, and it keeps in there throwing the same names at the top. Okay, Jordan, you get to go up first. Your closing statement of why you should receive the #1 vote for the Kapiti Coast Māori ward.
Now.
Yes, not tomorrow, not next week.
Aroha mai.
You're going to be in hospital between now and then.
If you want rangatahi at the table, want disability at the table, and you want a te ao perspective, and te ao Māori, te ao tangata, then vote for Jordan Wansborough. I know that name is not Māori, but my great-grandmother is full-blooded Māori. So, kei hahui, ngā mihi manaakitanga ki a koutou katoa, te pōti ai o Kapiti a Jordan Marshall Wansborough. Kia ora rā.
Kabiona?
This local election is probably the most important one of your lifetime. And I say this a lot, but it is the first time Kapiti has had a Māori ward. It could be the last, at least, until we get rid of these guys in central government. I keep bringing them up because they have overreached into our community. The issues that they are perpetuating nationwide, they are actually injecting them into places like Kapiti. They are controlling how much the council can spend. The fact that we are having a referendum on Māori wards right now is because of the directive of central government. Whether you vote for me or not, the most important thing you should do is vote to keep our Māori wards.
Okay, Jason.
Thank you, ngā mihi, for giving us the opportunity as Matawaka to actually have a voice and to be alongside mana whenua, to complement each other. We all have kinship ties within the Māori community. 800 years ago is 800 years ago, or however long back in history we may have, there's always a history there between us. We need to look at the here and now to go forward. Kia ora.
And Rangi.
Ka pai kia ora tātou. The last 4 years, our government hasn't been kind to us. Our Kapiti Coast has struggled because the government has put in a lot of restrictions for their benefit and not for the benefit of the communities such as Kapiti Coast. Kapiti Coast is an important place for me. I was brought up on Kapiti Coast and I've lived here all my lifetime. I've seen a lot of people come and I've seen a lot of people go. I don't want people to go. I want people to stay. And our government is pushing people away, which means they're pushing people away from our communities. The people make the world go around. And without the people, my reason for being here today, for my moko, is not going to benefit her future. I think our future should be looked upon, must be looked upon for our future kids. And that is a big key for me. We could vote for any one of us here. And this has been a hard journey. It's going to be a hard journey for us, the four of us. It is an honour to be here amongst you guys. Most important thing, he aha te mea nui ki ngā tipuna, he tangata, he tangata, he tangata. Kia ora mai tātou.
Okay, and the fun part we have to do here before we go is explain the joys of single transferable vote, or STV. So when it comes to voting at this election, Kapiti Coast Māori ward voters will be using the single transferable voting system where you rank your candidates in order of preference of you want them to be elected. This election is a single member ward that will be decided by second and third and fourth preference votes. So if you get out there and vote, you can use content like our own show here, It's in the Ballot. You can look at other candidates meetings, go and sit there and see the candidates in person and use the information out there to work out which candidates standing should get your preferences, and you rank in order of who you want there to be there the most to potentially the least. If you don't want them there at all, don't rank them in. But this election is going to be very important, and your second and your third and your fourth preference votes are just as equally as important as your number one. So make sure you put your number one on the ballot paper. Now, just before we go, I want to ask a bit of a fluff question here. I own a coffee cart called Bean here. We're at Newtown Market every Saturday. And if you were suddenly stuck at Wellington Hospital and needed a decent cup of coffee and you wandered over to the market and said hello, what type of coffee would you buy? Give me honest.
A flat white, small sized, no sugar.
So you definitely like the 6 ounce cups.
Yes.
Someone's in business. Someone's a very strong coffee drinker. Jordan.
Cappuccino.
Jason.
Dark Horse Coffee.
So
From
not
the
by
coast.
supplier. So not by supplier.
Is that just black?
Yeah. Filter. Plenty of it.
Oh well, at least it's not instant, so I won't sit there and now tell you where the door is. Rangi.
I'm a mochaccino man with the marshmallow. Not in it. I like it out.
I can totally relate to that. I'm so
Well, is that even coffee?
on that one. Okay, so thank you for joining us for tonight. Now, tomorrow we will be at the ASB Sports Centre in Kilburnie to carry with the Ōtaki Wellington constituency for Greater Wellington Regional Council at 4 p.m, followed by the Mutakarangi Eastern Ward of Wellington City Council at 7 p.m. So if you want to join us live there in person, which I think some of the audience here might sit there and be watching from their computers at home, if you do come in person, I will be absolutely ramped because it'll be like, crossing boundaries, having those groupies that follow you around all the Ballot shows. I mean, I'd say we got that over here with the Kapiti Coast, but I mean, it's not quite. I'm not sure if they venture outside the boundaries. So if you would like to sit down there and join us and show us your support, be there. If you want to sit there and get a koha ticket on there, please do that as well. It helps. It definitely helps keep these shows going. And and what I'd like to say to our online audience, Laura, if you're still in there moderating, can you please sit down there and share the link for the BHN show at 9 o'clock? Would like our viewers who are not used to watching our content, who have come in for local body elections, get a bit of a taste of Pat and Chewy. So if you can do that for us, please do so. But from us here at the It's in the Ballot team, would like to sit there and thank our candidates for putting their feet to the It's in the Ballot fire. Please give them a big round of applause. To our audience who sat down there and braved us in this not so warm hall, the heaters aren't the flashiest. I'll be honest with that. Maybe that could be something about ratepayers about putting some nice fancy heaters in here. I'd also like to sit there and thank Stacey, Nick, who are here making the show work. Laura, who's been one of my co-hosts for the Autopay podcast, who's been doing stuff in the background, get it dotting the I's and crossing the T's going. I was going to say, if you can do the questions for the Tauranga District Council, I'll be quite rapt. They'll take that off because that's my job when I get home tonight back to Wellington. We could sit down there and get everything all going. And I think that's it. So let's sit down there and roll the closing credits.